think my I lucked out. My camera stopped at a very opportune time. I guess there's a timer on how long it will go, not just the battery. All right. Let's make sure we are in camera again. Okay. All right. So if you remember from last time, we get it in the middle. If there's a lot of water here, you're gonna splash all your friends and they're gonna hate you. So don't do it. Okay? But if it's dry, that's not a problem. So hit it in there, mold it to the center again. This is the one that I wedged. So we're gonna go ahead and try this one now. Same process. Get it wet. Let's just go. I might just be quiet for most of this one. So we're centering now, squeezing, pushing down from the center out. Make sure it's slippery. So another thing this does is trains your clay to spin, which is what you want it to do. So dragging my thumb. Poking the hole. Check the depth if you want to. Push it out. This one's got way more wobbles than that last one. You guys can see it wobbling. But I'll show you how to fix the problems that come from that. We're going to do the pinch again together. Start at the bottom. Slowly come up. Now if I make the bottom thinner than the top, it's not going to be able to support the weight. And it's just going to fall down. So you need to be very careful and make sure you go pretty much all the way up to the top when you're pinching. Very wobbly. It's funny that my last one was so good and this one's terrible. Okay, so same thing, we're going to drag it carefully. Stop the wheel if you need to. Pull off your scraps. Clean things up. Decorate. So on that bottom, another tool that we have are these loop tools that you can use to carve out the bottom too. So over here, you can scrape some of this off and shape it a little bit. This thing is really uneven. It's terrible. You guys are like, it's so good, Mr. Jackson. Well, maybe you're not saying that, but it's decent. I wouldn't feel bad about giving this as a gift to somebody. Alright, So see how I rounded the top? That is something that's really hard to do on a pinch pot, but on the wheel, it's a little easier because you can compress it. And it spins. But you can see there's some little wrinkly things happening here, so you have to kind of compress it, spin it in, compress it, spin it in. I've never tried this before, but let's see what happens if I cut the center out. Maybe a little bit more even now. Okay. All right, so there's my second pot. We'll stop the wheel, grab this wire. We're gonna cut the bottom. Okay. Then get my other lid and these lifters. The reason we have these lifters is so you don't get fingerprints. I might have said that before, but now we're doing it the way that it usually goes. All right, so now the grade back here is all cleanup. So if I have scraps, they go in my bag. And the next thing to do is definitely don't wash your hands in the sink because that's a waste of time. Grab this big sponge. You probably don't need to do this step for a minute, but doesn't hurt. Get all this sludge off because then when you pick up the tools, they're not dirty from your hands, okay? Now take off this clay in the middle here. Use a wooden scraper, don't use metal, all right? Take that scraps, put it in your bag, and then we're just gonna clean the tools. So that's what this big sponge is for. Oh, last thing though, clean off the wheel a little bit better. My water's a little dirty, but even if there's that much clay on the wheel, it's going to be okay. So any tools that I use today, I'm going to get as much of the clumpy clay off of it as I can. If somebody didn't clean them last hour, I can still clean them because I want to make sure I get 100% on my points. I've only been doing this for maybe a minute right now. Usually I set a timer for this part of the thing. I guess if I watch the video, I can time it on the video. Okay, maybe wring out your little sponge. If you got really dirty water, maybe set the sponges to the side and we can use those in a minute. Sometimes there's some gooey clay on here. Maybe it would be better to clean it off with a tool first. But again, as long as, especially right here in the middle, is clean, the next person isn't going to be fighting it. But if you want all the points, you need to wipe this off. I should be able to read the numbers that are on it. Okay, so I've got all my tools there. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my bowl up here. And I really need this to happen every time, especially if you want your points. As you get the big sponge, go underneath here. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean there's no dirty water under there. Okay, I guess I can put this bowl back down. I'm just going to wring out my sponge into the bowl carefully so I'm not getting people around me wet. And then just get as much of this off as you can, which is pretty much all of it. All the scraps, put them in your bowl. Okay, and now the last thing that I need you to do is take off this thing carefully, make it go backwards so the water's inside, and then roll it around so that it pours out. Then grab your sponge and sponge it out. Get the back here where there's might be some clay from yesterday or somebody else, because obviously you wouldn't have done that. But if you have clay on your hands and you grab this wheel, it gets there. And if, you know, I took 10 seconds there and it's clean enough. Okay, go ahead and put it back on. Last thing you're gonna do, I'm gonna take the little sponge with me, but you usually don't need to. Just gonna take these over to the sink. You probably won't be able to see this, but I'm gonna dump it out into the buckets. seal that. My little sponge. Wring out the big sponge if you can. I don't usually spend as long as I did just then over there. Then you just look at everything, make sure everything's here. If there's still stuff, use the sponge to wipe it up. If you want to put these out here, the pictures don't line up with what we have anymore. So as long as you just have all your tools that you started with, which is your lifters, your 2 loop tools, your needle tool, your 2 wooden ribs, and your wire, we're going to be golden, all right? And you'll get 100% on wheel cleanup. All right, hopefully you enjoyed that and that you have fun on the wheel. It's a fun experience. If you don't make a good pot, it's not graded. This is your grade right here, the clean wheel. But hopefully you learned some stuff about throwing on the wheel so that next time you'll be a little bit better at it. Thank you, guys.